All right, welcome everyone to Yoga for Everybody. My name is Skyla Ramirez. Let's get started today. Let's start either seated or lying down on your back. Take your time to get fairly comfortable. We are going to begin with breathing, and as long as we're breathing, we are doing yoga. So at any time, if you notice that your mind starts to wander, or if you're maybe wondering if you're in the right position or not, just bring it back to your breath. Breath is the foundation of an entire yoga practice. So let's get comfortable. You could sit on a yoga block, a pillow, a blanket, and if you're lying down on the floor, maybe put a pillow underneath your head and neck. Let's get as many physical or body distractions out of the way as possible so that we can have all of our attention and all of our awareness focused on our breathing. If you're seated, you might want to take both hands over your chest and heart. And when you're lying on your belly, sometimes it feels more comfortable to put the hands down on the stomach and then let the elbows kind of rest down beside you. If there's any tightness in your shoulders at all, for those of you that are lying down, if there's any tightness at all in your shoulders at all, maybe put a little pillow or blanket under your elbows so it'll kind of lift the elbows a little bit. From seated, as an alternative to hands at the heart, if there's any pain in the neck or chest, place the hands down on your lap and relax. So take a minute, allow your body to move, fidget, get the wiggles out. Eventually working on embracing stillness and bringing all of our attention, all of our awareness to the breath. Noticing where is it going in the body. There's no right or wrong to this. This is the art of observation, to notice the breath, to become aware of the life force without initiating control over it. How can we let go? This is the practice of aparigraha. It is a yoga tenet. It is an ethical practice, the practice of letting go. Let go of controlling the breath and just watch the breath. Just watch it. So sometimes it helps to close the eyes. And if you're seated, bring your chin down. We can have a soft gaze past the cheeks. If we're lying on our backs, chin is down. We can always just look past the tip of our nose. Maybe give the breath a color, become aware of the breath, seeing the breath, giving it a little bit of character. Still no control over the breath, but rather just making the breath more visible to us. So if you imagine that your breath is like this cloud of energy that you are immersed in, this vaporescent light. Maybe see it as a silvery blue or a gold color. And when you inhale, feel your body absorbing this vaporescent energy, this light, and notice what part of the body is absorbing the light. What part of the body begins to glow or is illuminated by the life force? Just noticing. Every exhale is completely passive. On the exhale, let go. Breathe in through the nose or your mouth. For the next few exhales, as we continue to absorb this light, on the exhale, breathe out from your mouth and breathe out as if you're going to try fogging a mirror with the sound ha. Let's take in a breath through the nose or the mouth, absorbing this illuminating energy. And then exhale. It's a really breathy, audible exhale. Let's try maybe 3 or 4 more like that. Big breath in. Maybe see the breath leaving as this red light. Red represents busy, anxious energy. It can represent heat that could cause illness in the body. And it could also represent anger. It can represent an emotion. So taking a big breath, it could represent stress. Allow the breath to drag out of your body any feelings, any emotions, any energies, any thoughts that aren't serving you in this moment. From wherever you are, let's take the hands down beside us. And as you inhale, take the arms up and overhead. So if you're lying on your back, you can just sweep them up and back behind you. And if you're seated, raise the hands up towards the sky. No matter where you are, we're moving the arms outside the ears. And you can just let your head rock or tilt left and right towards your arms. So we're opening up the sides of the throat, maybe even squeezing the lymph nodes a little bit in that area. Let's bring the head to a neutral position. Exhale on your next breath with that sensation. Lower the hands down beside you and press the palms of the hands down into the earth. As you're pressing down into the earth, and it might be fingertip light if you're seated, as you're pressing down into earth, pull your ribs up, pull them forward, opening up through the gut, the belly, and the abdomen. When you're ready, relax your ribs, relax your heart. Let's inhale the arms up and overhead. Bend the elbows if there's any stress, any pinching or pain, bend those elbows. One more big inhale. And now exhale, lower the hands. Press the hands down beside you. Pull the ribs forward and up. Just a little bit away from the floor or a little bit forward, an exaggerated back bend when we're seated. Chin is still down, back of the head is relaxed. Relax your chin, relax the head and the neck. One more time, inhale, arms overhead. Stretch from the armpits, stretch from the ribs. When you're ready, exhale. Either palms pressing down or fingertip light. Shift the ribs up and forward. Chin down, big inhale. And now exhale from the throat. Now, for those of you who are lying down on your backs, I'm just going to recommend that you bend your knees, roll over to one side, and meet me up and seated. Let's all come up into a seated position. If you're seated on a yoga block, go ahead and come down to the floor. Grab a blanket instead if you want to cushion the seat in any way. We are going to do a little bit of movement from seated, and we just want to be sure that your tailbone and your sitting bones are comfortable. From wherever you are, let's take the feet out and the knees out to about hips width. And from hips width distance with the knees and the feet, wrap the hands around the sides of the legs or underneath the knees, just a little bit on the leg, just below the back of the knee area. As you inhale, come forward. Let the thighs push on your belly a little bit. This is known as a belly press. It's a technique we use to access acupressure points that can, in effect, flush toxins out of the body. So come forward, just a little bit of pressure on the belly, nothing invasive. As you inhale, pull your chest and ribs forward and up. Open the throat, stretch out the front of the throat without dropping the head back. So the head in the crown of the head still has a little bit of length in it, and we're just lengthening out the throat. Lead with the chin. Press your shoulders down towards your hips. So we're getting a little hug on the kidneys and the adrenal glands. Big inhale. Exhale, pull the navel in, round your shoulders, and drop the chin into the chest. Much like a seated cow, we're stretching out the back sides of the lungs and stretching along that low back region. When you're ready, come forward, inhale, little belly press. Lifting up and forward through the ribs and the heart, lifting and extending through the chin, opening the throat, big inhale. And when you exhale, exhale from the throat and round the spine. Let's try this a couple more times and pace it, maybe one breath, one movement. Inhaling forward, lengthen. Exhaling back and round. Inhaling forward. Exhale back. Last one, inhaling forward. And exhaling back. Let's shift forward with the body. Bring the hands down beside you, maybe even a little bit behind you. And let's see that the thumbs are sliding past the hips. So the fingertips are facing towards the back of the hips and the elbows are back behind us for support. If this hurts the wrist at all, if we're noticing a tenderness in the wrist or the hands, make a fist with your hand, thumbs towards the low back, and you could use what we call a fist for wrist modification. From here, let's let the knees sway over to one side and just let your body choose left or right in this twist. As you're twisting and holding, we could always pull that hip up a little more. So we're creating this large twist from the left hip up to the right shoulder and from the right hip to the left shoulder. Big inhale. Exhale, slowly come to center. Let the knees sway over to the other side. Maybe hold it there. You might feel it in your back or your hips. If you feel it in your shoulders, walk those hands in a little bit to take some tension out of the shoulders. You could always try peeling up that back hip a little more, exaggerating that twist, and let your head and neck move in any natural way that you feel follows that energetic twist or that spiraling of energy in the body. Let's try at least one more big inhale here, big breath. And now exhale, slowly bring it to center. From here, let's go ahead and come all the way over into all fours. From all fours, you can tuck the toes under, stretching through the soles of the feet, and begin to push the hips back towards the heels, only going back as far as the knees permit. So checking in with the sensations in the knees, and notice when your knees say no. Sometimes the knees tell us no, sometimes the knees tell us yes. We're still not that warmed up, so just noticing how the knees feel, working within a range of comfort. From here, let's shift forward. Have the knees under the hips and untuck the toes. Let's walk the hands maybe 2 or 3 inches in front of the shoulders. Bend the elbows for a moment and notice when the elbows go out to the side, then pull them back so that as we're bending the elbows, if we were to go all the way down, they would come straight down to the floor in a straight line with the knees. So you have the elbows at shoulder width, which might also be hip width or knee width, depending on your lower body position. Let's cover those elbows with that little bend back. Drop the belly and inhale into a crouching cow position. Crouching cow. Looking forward. Keep that little bit of a crouching sensation. And now pull the tailbone under and round the spine. Let's drop the head. Last of all, straighten the arms as if you're trying to push away from the floor. So we get a nice big stretch behind the heart. When you're ready, little bend in the elbows, flip the hips back, release the belly, crouching cow, looking forward, opening the throat. You're welcome to look left and right a little bit, just a little turn in the head and the neck. When you're ready, let's find a still and neutral point for the neck. Roll the hips in, tuck the tailbone down. Pull the belly button up, drop the head. Last of all, straighten the arms. Let's shake the head yes. Turn it left and right, allowing any tension in the neck to leave. When you're ready, Come to center, little elbow bend, hips split back. Inhale, crouching cow. Exhale, elbows roll, not elbows, hips roll in, tailbone in, round the spine, straighten the arms, cat. From here, let's walk the hands in, find neutral spine. Let's extend the left leg straight back with a flat foot. Let your weight come down into the left hand, and now reach straight forward with the right arm, spinal balance. Inhale, reach and press. Exhale, slowly bring the limbs in. Taking our sweet time, let's switch sides, taking the right foot straight back. Flat foot, maybe even turning the big toe in a little bit. Shifting our weight into the right hand, taking the left hand forward, right leg back. Inhale, press and reach. And now exhale, limbs in. Let's try this a couple more times. One more time on each side. Inhale, left leg, right arm. You can dissect it, maybe just do the legs or just do the arms. Exhale, switching sides. Right leg, left arm, inhale. Exhale. All right, let's switch it up a little bit today. So we're gonna add in a little bit of left and right brain hemisphere work. And this works with particular parts of the brain that help to regulate coordination and also spatial awareness. So the parts of the brain that help us to know where we are in space and time. I know y'all, I still use my GPS to get around town sometimes. So the spatial awareness work can be really beneficial. From wherever you are, take your left leg back. And now look over your right shoulder and look for your left foot. Try to push it towards your right leg and maybe even tap it on the floor outside your right foot. So we have our left leg, which is regulated by the right hemisphere of the brain. And then we're looking over the right shoulder, which is going to actually work with left and right hemisphere because now we have the limb crossing the midline. So it's more work for the brain to keep track of the body in space and time. When you're ready, slowly bring that left leg to neutral. When you're ready, let's take that right leg straight back. Look over your left shoulder. Sweep that right leg towards the left and maybe tap the foot down. We're getting in a nice little side stretch when we do this too. If looking over the shoulder becomes painful or just uncomfortable at all, take your head to neutral and just feel for the position of the body. When you're ready, slowly bring that leg to neutral. From here, let's take our right hand, lift it up, and then take it over the left fingertips. Maybe even reach it all the way to the outside of your left hand. Walk those fingertips out, maybe even bend the left arm a little bit. And if it feels all right, you can relax down. So this is like a variation on thread the needle. Less shoulder rotation this way. When you're ready, slowly come up. Let's plant the hands under the shoulders, taking the left hand over the right, and then maybe bending that right elbow and resting the head down for a moment. Let the hips flip back, just like cow pose. Big breaths in through the nose or the mouth. Exhale from the throat. When you're ready, slowly begin to come up. Easy does it. Both hands under the shoulders. Let's reset the hips with either child's pose. Hips go back. Feet can be tucked or untucked for child's pose. And hips go back as far as the knees are in agreement with it. You can either hold child's pose or keeping the elbows lifted. We can shift forward, tuck the toes under, lift the knees, and find downward facing dog. Letting our head hang loose between the biceps, maybe even shake the head left and right. Checking for our alignment here. When you're ready, look between the hands. No matter where you are in this, let's take our time stepping to the top of our mat. So we'll take one foot forward into a supported lunge, and then step the other foot forward and slowly walk your hands up, eventually coming into standing with the body. Let's stand with our feet at about hips width distance. Let's see, guys. I can get my feet into the frame. Well, now you got my feet, but you don't have my head. That's okay. From here, let's take the left foot back a short stride, bending the right knee. As you inhale, extending the arms up and overhead into Warrior One pose. Holding Warrior One. Maybe even closing the eyes so that you're able to feel the pose rather than having to see the pose looking any particular way. On the next breath in, let's sweep the arms back and around behind us. Big inhale, rolling the shoulders down and back, expanding through the heart. Let's lower the chin, close the eyes, continue to lunge forward while pressing back into the left heel. So we're finding the completely opposite energies in the pose that can come together to create balance for us today. Left leg back, lunging forward into the right, chin down, close your eyes, and on every inhale, breathe in green light. And on every exhale, breathe out green light. Now, for light therapy and energy workers, this is a technique that we can build on. On every inhale, imagine you're absorbing green light through the right side of your body. It's the right side of the heart that receives the energy of love. So as you inhale, imagine green light coming into the body through the right, and then exhale, green light leaving from the left side of the body. It's the left side of the heart that gives or extends love out. Inhaling green on the right, exhaling green on the left. Let's maybe do this 2 or 3 more times. Feel the body softening. Notice if there's any resistance at all. Is it easier to see the light when you inhale or see that light when you exhale? Sometimes this points out to us where we maybe struggle in our lives with giving or receiving love. One more easy breath. Inhale right, exhale left. From here, let's bring the arms up overhead. And then exhale, swan dive down, hands onto that right thigh. Let's straighten the right leg. Walk the hands down as low as your body wants to go with this, holding in pyramid pose. If you're familiar with this pose and you know you want to take it into a standing split, you're more than welcome to put your hands on a chair in front of you or a wall, maybe hands on the floor, and you can shift forward and lift your back leg into a split expression. No matter where we are, let's find our breath. Exaggerate the exhales. 2 more. Exaggerate the exhale. Last one. If you're in that standing split, let's lower the left leg first. Let's all walk our hands up onto the right thigh. Flatten your back. When you're ready, inhale the arms up and overhead. Warrior One stance, lengthening through the spine, holding mighty Warrior One. From here, let's bring the hands to the heart. Step forward, have the feet at the width of the hips, or maybe at the width of the pelvis bones. See that the toes are pointing forward. On an exhale, let your hips sink down and back and continue to pull forward with your heart and ribs, holding in chair pose. So this pose in Sanskrit is called Utkatasana. The literal translation of Utkatasana is fierce. But in the westernization of yoga, we just call it chair because it's like sitting back in a chair. But notice what it feels like if you think about taking a fierce gesture with your body. Big inhale, exhale from the throat. 2 more. Remember, as long as we're breathing, it's a yoga practice. All the poses are optional. When you're ready, let's come up to standing. Inhale, arms overhead, stepping the right foot back a short stride and bending that left knee into warrior one. Let's take a moment and hold mighty warrior one, feeling the pose in the body. Lower the chin, press down and back through the right heel. Lunge forward and push down into the left foot. And now center the trunk of your body. You could shift forward and back or side to side, but feel for a centered sensation in your body. Inhale, lengthening through the fingertips, stretching the sides of the lungs. When you're ready, slowly bring the hands back and around into a chest expansion. You could rest the hands at the hips or the low back, or maybe lace your fingertips by your low back and tailbone. No matter what you choose to do with your arms, go with whatever has the most comfort for the upper body. Let's drop the chin, look down towards the floor. Inhale, pull the collarbones up, pull the ribs up, stretching the belly and abdomen. Now let's stay here for maybe about 10 cycles of breath. We're going to stay here almost a full minute, visualizing the green light, working with a little bit of color therapy and a little bit of like detoxification of the heart energy. So as you inhale, you're absorbing green light through the right side of the body, receiving love, filling that reservoir of energy. And then as you exhale, feel or see that green light leaving from the left side of your body, giving love, giving from a full cup. Inhale right, exhale left. Option to close the eyes at any time. Relax the right shoulder when you inhale. Relax the left shoulder, exhale. Maybe breathe from the throat, that ha breath. Inhale right, relax the right shoulder. Ha breath, relax the left. Maybe just a couple more. Inhale right. Exhale. Last one. When you're ready, inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive. Let's plant the hands down on our left thigh for support. From wherever you are, push your hips back. Maybe bend both knees while the hips push back. We can walk the hands down the left leg and straighten that left leg out if you want. So if you have a short stance, you might have a bend in your right knee and the left leg straight, and you can come forward into an adapted version of a pyramid, or you can keep both legs straight and come forward with the tailbone back. So either one. Notice what feels better for your hips, for your low back. The whole purpose, the objective in coming to a yoga class is for you to experiment. So stay curious and discover what works for you. So you are creating your own personal practice with each breath and in each moment. Let's relax the head and the neck, shake out the head, and turn the neck left and right. And again, you can hold it here. I know some of us might be creating a standing split, so if you want, you can walk your hands forward and slowly begin to lift that right leg. You could also use a chair or a wall for support. We could always keep the head higher than the heart, especially if we know that we have any allergies. I don't know if y'all noticed, but it pollinated last week. It pollinated in Dallas. So if you've had any drainage or any allergies, keep your head up. Couple more inhales, big exhale. One more. Let's lower that back leg, walk the hands up onto the left thigh, and feel that your low back and spine are flat and stable. Slowly walk the hands in and up. Let's come up to standing. Stepping to the top of our mat with the feet at the width of the hips or the width of the pelvis bones. Soft through the knees. Let's inhale, arms up. Exhale, take the hands down to the heart. Sit the hips back. Flat back. Imagine a yoga block between the knees, or imagine like a small ball between the knees that you're going to squeeze. Engage the buttocks muscles. So you have the knees pushing in, but then you squeeze the glutes. So it's as if the thighs are trying to roll out while the knees squeeze in. Press into the outer and inner blades of the feet. Sit back strong. Utkatasana, fierce pose. If you're noticing any pain in the low back, maybe hands on the thighs. If you're noticing some sensations in the thighs and the hips, that could be muscles activating. So it could be the body building on its endurance, building strength. If it feels like fire or pins and needles, if you know it's pain, come out of that pose a little bit. One more inhale. And now exhale. When you're ready, slowly come up to standing. Let's shake all of that off. All right. So we've been experimenting with standing half moon. For standing half moon, if you have a wall nearby or a chair or a small table, I'm going to recommend that you have some sort of a prop with the pose. So wherever you are, you want to stand with your prop. Let's say it's a chair next to you or a table or a wall. We want to be able to firmly be able to rest the hand and maybe even lean into that prop a little bit. So if you have a chair or something that you can push against a wall, even better. If you don't have a sturdy structure, you're going to need to probably engage a little more core because we don't want your prop to slip out from under you. So from wherever you are, whatever hand is on the prop, that same leg on the inside towards your prop is going to stay on the floor. Let's bend the knees and take the outside leg, lift the knee with a flat foot. Abduct that leg, so you're taking it out to the side and leaning into your prop. This is a variation on a half moon. We are not inverted here, so there's less risk of injury, less risk of irritation to blood pressure. We can look down at the floor, straight ahead in alignment with the heart, or over that top shoulder. Option to extend that free arm up towards the sky, squeeze the buttock muscle and the outer hip in order to get that open sensation through the groin and pelvis. So in essence, we're stretching the muscles that are over the lymph nodes and the inguinals, so helping to drain toxins out of the body. Big inhale. Exhale, slowly come to center. Let's take our sweet time and switch sides. Whatever hand is on your prop, make sure that same leg is by the inside wall. Soften the knees, lean into that prop or lean down into your prop. Let's lift the outside leg with a flat foot and abduct. Straightening out that leg as much as it feels comfortable. And then repositioning the head and neck accordingly. We can look down at the floor. So looking down can sometimes be the least amount of stress on your neck. Looking in alignment with the heart, moderate amount of tension. Looking up towards the sky, this requires the most physical effort. We're working against gravity when we look up. So there's no right or wrong way. Choose what feels best. As we inhale, we can always extend that top arm, squeeze a little more through that outer hip, stretch through the inner thighs. Remember to smile. Big inhale. Exhale. One more big breath. And then exhale. Slowly relax. All right, if you want to grab a quick sip of water or anything, feel free to do so. We're coming down to the floor for a few seated stretches. So at your leisure, soften the body, one leg back at a time, and let's make our way down into seated on the floor. All right, from seated, let's take our right leg under and left leg over. So I am mirror teaching. This is my right side of the body, but if you do what I do, you're going to move your left leg dominant. So left leg in front. You could sit on a blanket. Sometimes this really helps to tilt the hips. And when we tilt the hips, it helps to prop up the spine and hopefully less pain in the body. So with this left leg dominant, you can hold it right here or take it all the way over if that feels right for you. You can even let the thighs open a little bit. So we're finding any foundation with the legs where the left leg is dominant for now. From here, let's take the palms up in front of us. Take your right arm over the left arm and give yourself an embrace. Hold it there for a moment. Feel as if you're stretching the shoulders away from the middle back, stretching behind the heart. Lower the chin. If you want to experiment with this a little bit, take the hands away and maybe play with the position of the hands and the wrist and the palms. You could even wrap the arms a few times. So this could be an active embrace, a bind, or it could be wound up into eagle arms, eagle. From wherever you are, press the shoulders down, pull up through the elbows and the sternum, lengthen through the crown of the head. Let's close our eyes and receive your breath through the back of the body. So maybe feel that that space between your shoulder blades opens and you receive the breath through the back of the heart. The exhale is easy, audible, breath. When you're ready, slowly unravel the arms. Lengthen through the spine. Let's take the right arm straight up. Press down into that right hip. Let's feel the right hip anchored to the earth. Big breath in. Exhale, twist towards the left. Lowering that left arm either on top your knee, you can lean forward into it, or take the arm out straight. Let's take our left arm behind us by the hip onto the floor, moving into any expression of a seated twist. As we twist towards the left, looking over the left shoulder. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist a little more. Just a fraction of movement can be so effective. One more. When you're ready, slowly come around to center. Let's switch out the dominant leg. So now we're tucking the left leg under, right leg over. It can feel totally different from left to right. Hips are unique creatures. They have their own personalities. So you might look completely different with the right leg dominant versus the left. That's okay. Just make sure that there's no pain. From wherever you are, let's take the arms in front of us. Cross the left arm over the right for an embrace. Let's pull those shoulders in, open up the back of your heart. If you want, round the body just a little bit. This is a technique to work with chronic fatigue syndrome and adrenal fatigue. So if you've been like feeling worn down or just tired, if you hit a wall for no reason, it could be that you need to sleep. But it could be that your body just needs a nice big stretch through the adrenal glands also. So from wherever you are, let's lengthen up a little bit, come a little bit out of that forward fold, and then maybe wind up the arms and move the hands in any way that's comfortable. Eagle arms, press the shoulders down no matter where you are, and lift the elbows up. Shoulders down. Let's receive the breath through the back of the heart. Lower your head, maybe close the eyes. And maybe imagine that space between your shoulders, that it's opening so that the breath can be poured into your body, so that there's no effort in receiving the breath. There's no effort in renewing or refilling your energetic reservoir. Maybe 2 more exhales. Breathe from the throat. When you're ready, sitting nice and tall, let's release the arms. Inhaling the left arm straight up. Reach as if you're holding on to 100 helium balloons, a sensation of being pulled and lengthened to the sky. On the next exhale, let's twist towards the right. And we could always lower our elbow down and support the body, or reach that arm out. So just being mindful of what the shoulders think about this. If you've ever had a frozen shoulder, we just want to be extra compassionate with that part of the body. So choose a position where there's no discomfort or little discomfort in the shoulder. We want instead to focus on the twist, wringing out the spine, wringing out the toxins. Let's look over the right shoulder. Inhaling, lengthening. Exhale, a little bit more squeeze, a little bit more twist. And maybe if you're really curious about this, what happens when you twist a little more while you inhale? The breath is going to stay in the upper lungs. So you can twist in the lower body while you inhale, and it could feel better for you. On an exhale, relax. Now let's try it. Inhale, twist. One more easy breath. When you're ready, slowly come around to neutral. All right, let's find a little symmetry for the body. Take the feet away, stretch the legs out as much as it is comfortable for the back. Maybe keep a little bend in the knees. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, walk the hands towards your feet. Eventually relax the head and the neck. Allow the upper body to round a little bit, just a little bit of rounding. So we're pulling those shoulder blades and pulling the muscles up over the back ribs to create a little bit of traction for the lymphatic system. Relax the head and the neck. Exaggerate the exhale. When you're ready, slowly walk the hands in. Coming up into seated tall, seated staff position. From here, let's bend one knee, left or right, and let it open out to the side. Inhale, both arms overhead. Angle your belly button towards the knee of your straight leg. So you may notice that this requires a little bit of a twist again. When you're ready, exhale, hands come down. Let's walk the hands towards the foot again, this time with that one thigh open. Relaxing the head and the neck. Focus on some long exhales. If you're counting the breath, sometimes we do this counting breath technique. To accentuate the pose, you can inhale 1, 2, 3, counting in your mind, then exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The exhale is twice as long as the inhale. Let's try that maybe just one more time. Big inhale, count of 3. And now slow, long exhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Squeeze the belly. When you're ready, slowly come on up. Let's switch out the legs. Opening up that single thigh, inhale the arms up. Angle the belly button towards the knee of the extended leg. Exhale, bring it down. Hands walking towards the feet, relaxing the head, the neck, the shoulders, and the upper spine. Find that exaggerated exhale. It could be breathy. You may want to count it. Inhale. Exhale slow. Exhale like you're blowing out candles. Inhale, count of 3. Exhale slow. One more. Stretch out that exhale. When you're ready, slowly come up. Let's stretch out our legs and shake off the knees. All right, let's look around. Let's get comfortable for final relaxation and final meditation for closing. This will be about 5 to 6 minutes of mindfulness practice. You are welcome to stay seated in any comfortable position to close, or go ahead and lie down. Maybe put a pillow under your head and neck, put a pillow under your low back, put another pillow under your knees. Personally, I like to have 5 or 6 pillows for relaxation, so get comfortable. Maybe cover up. Naturally, as we begin to relax, the body will start to cool off a little bit. And any type of chill can really distract the nervous system, and it can keep you from effectively meditating. Getting cold is like a really big distraction, so get comfortable. Once you establish a place of comfort, start to establish stillness. We know that we can move at any time. There is a practice where you can practice not moving. Instead, you would notice the sensation, notice the impulse to move, notice where is it in your body, and what happens when you do not act on that sensation, when you don't act on the impulse. And it could be small things like needing to scratch the nose, or wanting to maybe like fidget the fingers, or wanting to have like a little scratch or a touch on the arm, even wiggling the fingers and toes. Notice any subtle impulse to move and what happens. Just by way of curiosity, maybe we do it like an experiment, studying ourselves. What happens when we don't give into that impulse? Can we simply observe the sensation? Can we be with the sensation and be with the understanding that we don't have to act? We do not have to act on that sensation. And then what happens when you don't act? What happens? Does the sensation change in any way? Does it move? Does it become more intense? Maybe it subsides, but continue to observe it as a sensation that does not require a reaction. You're responding with patience, responding with stillness, responding with intent to observe, the art of observation. Just like we did in the beginning, observing the breath without changing it, letting go of control. Can we observe sensations in our bodies and then resist the impulse to move? Can we control that? Let your eyes Sink back into the mind space. Maybe as you notice random sensations, maybe we soften the body around those places. Soften the muscles around those places. That way, any energy that's coming up has opportunity to get unblocked or to even leave the body. You might even practice a long exhale again to manage the impulse. Big inhale, and then exhale. Reminding ourselves, as long as we are breathing, we're doing yoga. As long as we're breathing, we're doing yoga. Maybe shift your awareness to that green light. Can we open to receive the life-giving and transformative power of love? Inhale, receiving green light into the right side of the body. And then feel your awareness shift to the left. And as you exhale, can we open ourselves to extending out love unconditionally? Balancing out that energetic exchange of give and take. Feel the breath. See the light. For the last few moments, you can always quietly chant to yourself. On every inhale, hearing the sound so. Every exhale, hearing the sound hum. And the sound of the chant is vocalized with the power of the mind, with an internal voice. Inhaling, hearing the sound so. And then exhaling the sound hum. Allow that mantra, that small chant, to cycle through the body with the life-giving force of the breath. So hum, so hum. Thank you for joining me today in our Yoga for Everybody class. Feel free to lie here a little longer. Breathe through that chant, so hum. The chant translates to I am that. So what is that? We began our meditation with green light, and we infused that and wove those chest expansions through the whole class today. So when we say so hum, it's actually a chant that connects to the heart. It speaks to I am the embodiment of love. I am the embodiment of unconditional love. I am that. Inhale green light, exhale green light. Immerse yourself in that energetic exchange of give and take with the transformative power of love. So hum. I am that. Thank you everyone for being here with me today. Namaste, everyone.